The invasion no one prepared for. Nobody inside the paddock saw it coming, not the team principals, not the factory engineers, not even the riders who believed they understood how this sport truly works. For decades, MotoGP had been an untouchable fortress, a closed ecosystem governed by prototype machinery, political hierarchy, and unspoken rules. It was a place where production, bike legends, arrived full of ambition and quietly disappeared. Careers didn't end in crashes here. They faded in data sheets, lost confidence, and polite press releases. MotoGP didn't destroy reputations loudly. It erased them silently, and that history is precisely why the fear has returned. Because this time, the outsider isn't arriving confused, hopeful, or grateful. He is arriving armed, a shadow from the east as the 2025 season reaches its boiling point. Something has shifted beneath the surface of the paddock. It isn't visible on the timing screens, it isn't announced in press conferences, but it is felt in hushed conversations, delayed glances, and engineers speaking a little more quietly than usual. A shadow has emerged from the east. They call him Toprak Razgatlıoğlu, a rider who does not respect precedent, hierarchy, or probability. A rider whose braking defies geometry, whose saves look violent rather than elegant, and whose confidence unsettles even seasoned champions. This is no longer a rumor. This is no longer speculation. This is an invasion. Toprak isn't coming to MotoGP to learn. He's coming to hunt, and his targets are already chosen. Marquez, Fabio Quartararo, the kings of the modern era. Sepang, where fear travels faster than heat. The Sepang heat is suffocating. But inside the factory hospitality units, a different chill is spreading. MotoGP has always been a walled garden, a place of controlled access, inherited privilege, and prototype purity. Outsiders are rarely welcomed. They are almost never feared. Yet as 2025 winds down, fear has returned because the man approaching the gate doesn't carry traditional Grand Prix pedigree. He carries proof. Toprak Razgatlıoğlu didn't merely win World SBK. He dominated it. He turned it into a personal exhibition, bending 1.000cc production machines into shapes they were never designed to hold. He didn't rely on electronics to save him. He saved the bike himself violently, repeatedly, publicly. Now that chaos has crossed the threshold, a tactical invasion, not a promotion. This is not another rider moving up. This is a tactical insertion. While the cameras remain fixed on championship battles, the real story is unfolding behind closed doors, deep inside the Yamaha garage, where engineers are staring at data that doesn't align with their historical models. Brake pressure traces that spike later than expected, corner entry speeds that contradict aerodynamic assumptions, front-end loads that shouldn't be survivable. The Toprak era hasn't arrived with fireworks. It has arrived quietly and begun dismantling the status quo before a single race light has gone out. Walking away from a kingdom to understand the tension, you must understand the sacrifice. Toprak didn't leave BMW out of frustration. He left dominance. After clinching the 2025 World Superbike title in commanding fashion, he walked away from a kingdom built specifically around him. BMW gave him freedom, authority, and loyalty. He abandoned all of it. That decision sent shockwaves through the industry, amplified by a series of phone calls from one man, Kenan Sofuoglu. Kenan didn't negotiate emotionally. He negotiated strategically. The move to Primo Pramac Yamaha for 2026 wasn't framed internally as a gamble, it was framed as a pressure point. Yamaha needed a disruptor. Toprak needed a prototype reset. They found each other at the fault line of MotoGP future. The Michelin wall history is unforgiving to Superbike legends who ignore the Michelin wall. Pirelli tires speak, Michelin tires punish. At 200 plus km/h, Michelin fronts offer no warning, only consequences. Many great riders have crossed into MotoGP only to lose confidence, front feel, and ultimately relevance. That was the expected narrative, except the private test rumors refuse to obey it. According to multiple insiders, Toprak isn't struggling with Michelin. He's redefining how it's loaded. He isn't adapting his style to MotoGP. He's forcing MotoGP to confront his. Yamaha's betrayal of tradition for decades. Yamaha was the final guardian of the inline. For philosophy, the romantic ideal of corner speed and finesse. While rivals embraced brute force, Yamaha trusted flow. By mid-2025, that ideology had collapsed. The M1 had become a knife in a gunfight. And so, behind steel doors, Yamaha committed a betrayal of its own history. A V4 project whispered about for years was accelerated, not refined, accelerated, built not for balance, but for violence. Insiders say the new engine's character mirrors Toprak's riding style: late braking, abrupt rotation, brutal exit. This isn't an upgrade, it's a confession. Yamaha is no longer asking riders to adapt to the bike. They are shaping the bike around one man's instincts. Fabio Quartararo. The uncomfortable center at the center of this storm sits Fabio Quartararo. For years, El Diablo carried Yamaha through darkness, extracting results from machinery that didn't deserve them. He demanded support. He demanded evolution. He got something else. Public comments from Kenan Sofuoglu declaring Toprak the future #1 have fractured the calm. Early internal shaked, and data reportedly left Quartararo's side of the garage silent, because if a rookie can match a former world champion's sectors immediately, hierarchy dies instantly. This isn't rivalry yet. It's existential tension. Calling out the King's Toprak isn't interested in the midfield. He isn't interested in rookie trophies. He has publicly and privately aimed higher. Marquez, the master of the save, the architect of impossible lean angles. But Toprak brings a different weapon: the ability to stop a bike from 220 km/h with the rear wheel airborne, controlled, deliberate, repeatable. This isn't speed versus speed. It's philosophy versus philosophy. The king of saves versus the king of stoppies. And the collision will not be polite. Valencia, where everything nearly collapsed during critical transition testing at Valencia, the entire project nearly died before it breathed. Yamaha had one functioning prototype chassis. One. Every lap was a tightrope walk over millions of euros and months of secret R&D. Engineers issued a clear instruction: do not crash. Telemetry told a different story. Toprak pushed the front harder than any Yamaha rider in recorded history, not cautiously, confidently. He didn't survive the test. He dominated the data. The tire that decides everything Michelin remains the silent executioner. Some insiders still believe the hype is premature. They remember the crashes, the broken confidence, the careers ended by overbreaking optimism. This is the question defining the off-season. Is Toprak a generational anomaly or the next cautionary tale? The paddock is divided. The betting money is shifting. Ducati is not laughing in Borgo Panigale. Concern has replaced curiosity. Gigi D'Allegna watches telemetry obsessively, and he is watching Yamaha closely. Not because of lap times, because of unpredictability. Toprak doesn't follow optimized lines, he attacks instability. Ducati has already accelerated its 2026 Aero program, reacting to a rider who hasn't stood on a MotoGP podium yet. That alone speaks volumes. The 2027 in-game this story doesn't peak in 2026. It peaks in 2027, reduced aero, 850cc engines, less stability, more rider. That reset belongs to Toprak. While others learned precision through electronics, he learned survival through chaos. If he's dangerous now, he may be unstoppable then. The point of no return as the lights go out for the first time in 2026. MotoGP will already be changed. A Turkish flag on the grid is no longer symbolic. It's threatening. Toprak Razgatlıoğlu isn't just a rider, he's a disruptor, and whether he wins immediately or bleeds through the learning curve, one truth is unavoidable: the paddock will never be the same again. And as engines scream into turn one, the entire world will watch to see if the outsider can finally become the ruler.